Alright, hey, what's up guys, this is Crypto Clutch here. Obviously it's going to look a lot different than what it has in the past in the warehouse. It also looks way different in the shed, but I'll do another update video on that. I did talk about me wanting to do this. It has now been done over this last weekend. It's currently a Monday. So the last like 3 days I've been preparing to do this. Basically the thing I was waiting on to do this was these little cables right here. So I had these cables, and I think I talked about how I messed this up. Well, I needed these little adapters in order to make it work. I still need to figure out a way to make it so this doesn't like come off super easy. Maybe like some kind of 3D printed thing, or just heck, just glue would work. Cause I have had one already come loose, and that's probably not the best thing, but it works. I just wish I didn't have to worry about that. I mean, I still would be connecting one to another, cause like I would be using like an extension cable, like one of these right here, but yeah, so I would still be using an extension cable, so it still could come out, but like now I have an extension going to another extension type thing. Now where I did go straight into the miners, but that's, you know, not that much. So here we have my 80 amp 3-phase PDU, which is good for about 21,000 watts on my voltage. If I had the European voltage, what it's designed to do, it could actually do almost double that, like 40,000 watts per PDU, I believe. Yeah, it'd be about 40,000 watts per PDU, which is crazy. But that's not what I have here. Maybe in my next setup, if I can get those same things, like you just get way more power out of it with it being the higher voltage. But yeah, so I just basically moved all my GPUs over here. I still have a couple rigs over there that I need to work on, but I've been kind of lazy / busy, and I have been working on some stuff. Like I had to replace the power supply and a couple of fans on this rig, but it's not working good. This rig I had to work on. This is the Vega rig that's been sitting offline for forever. I finally got that rig back on. It's not hashing fully. The Vegas are only doing like 30 to 40 mega hash each, so I need to figure out how to get more hash rate out of those. And I think I talked about the Spawn Dualies miner. I saw Panda just uploaded a video about one of these guys, the S19 Pro. I'll do a video on the S17 Pros once I have mine come in. I have 11 on the way. I'm kind of just doing like a little test run on like how well those do or how bad they are, and I'll give you an update on that. Then we still have this whole bottom rack is still offline. I could probably get it online now, but it's not that big of a priority right now, and you know, I'll fix it eventually. Then these runs are pretty much all working except for this rig, but you know, there hasn't really much changed. And then over here, it's basically still just my clients' rigs and a couple of mine. And then we still have all this over here. I plan to refill like that slot, and that slot once I fix those rigs that are over there. And then I want to fill up that row of 6. I'll probably move maybe like some of these rigs that are here over there, and maybe these rigs. I'm not too sure. But what I have been doing, which I'll talk about this later in a separate video that I'm going to make right after this, is I've been switching all of these miners over to Zcash off of Pirate Chain. For just a short recap, is because Zcash essentially announced recently that like they're going to switch to proof of stake, which I'm not super happy about, because these ASIC miners, like the biggest coin that they mine is Zcash. However, I will still have Zen and Pirate Chain, but I will go into more detail into that in my second video, and what that means for miners and how long we have and all that stuff. So if you do mine Pirate Chain, or if you mine Zcash or having Equihash miners, or you are looking into buying some of them, definitely watch the second video I upload today. We'll definitely go into more detail on my thoughts and stuff like that. But the other thing we did, which it'd be a little harder to show you this, but me and my buddy, who's an electrician, we redid those ground bars. So Like before, they were just barely going into a ground bar like this, and it wasn't really big enough to fit that. It wasn't big enough at all to fit the wire that we had put in there. And I mean, it was working, but like now it's, it looks way better. Underneath that black stuff, there's actually it's more of those same things. I have room for another 3 PDUs, but we hooked up this PDU and this PDU, which both of those are quite warm because they're getting used pretty good. This is a 600 amp panel, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's a 600 amp panel. It's either 600 or 500, it doesn't really matter, but it has 8 80 amp 3-phase breakers in it, and I have room for more if I really wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to need anything more than that. And we just kind of treeped it over for right now, but in the future it'll go over like that and down just like the other ones. And then the plan is to have, I could probably go ahead and do this section in all the 5s, but then I'm gonna have to do either one of those or get like one that has 3 slots for the other 3 cables that will come out of here, just so it's the cables aren't just going everywhere. And I still need to fix all this mess because with like that PDU and that PDU, just where they're not mounted to anything, I just kind of have power going everywhere, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this section. Obviously I have my plan for that rack because it's got a PDU on that side and then in the middle, which that one, it kind of sucks because I can't, like, you see how it's obviously like sticking out like this. There's not really anything I can do for it other than maybe like glue it to the side of the rack, but that doesn't really sound very good because glue will heat up, and yeah, anyways, but I want to figure out something to do with this mess. But like those GPU cases, I'm not sure if they're going to stay there or if I'm going to move them to like another rack and then use this rack for like ASIC miners, or what I'm going to do with this rack, I don't know. But one of these PDUs can run quite a few ASIC miners, but it still needs like 2 or 3 per rack. So I got to figure out what all I'm going to do and what I'm going to do with this rack, because like it's kind of, these 2 racks right here kind of need like multiple power supplies too. I mean PDUs, but that's, I'm kind of sharing these 3 PDUs to do these 3 racks, and it just doesn't look very good right now, obviously. So I still need to do something with that. I just haven't decided what I want to do. Nothing else has really changed other than I've just been, it's now been a full week of me being a full-time miner, and I've changed a decent amount. I mean, I moved over almost all of my cases. There's still 3 more cases over in the shed, but they might stay there because they're kind of out of the way. There are 2 more racks that I want to bring over here, and then I want to set up 2 of the red racks like that one that I already have over there, so I can put ASIC miners on them for once I get them in. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put over there. I might buy some more EcoHash A9s because I have a pretty good supply on a pretty good price for them, and I'm hoping I can, if I buy in bulk, maybe I can get them even better, which I really am a fan of the A9s. They are solid units. Actually, all of these units are pretty solid. I have been selling a couple of my Z9s, and I'm trying to sell the Z9 minis off because the Z9s, I've been selling them for slightly like about equal to what I'm paying for A9s, and the Z9s pull, like, they pull twice as much power as the A9s to do about the same hash rate. So like if I can swap Z9s for A9s, that's a big win for me. Just for power efficiency, I can basically put twice as many in my power setup as I have right now, so that would be ideal. Obviously with having twice as many miners, I need another switch, which that's not a big deal. There's plenty of room for another switch on here, and I just do like a little micro jump on a small fiber cable, because like this switch is completely full, and that's mostly because of those Z9 minis. You have basically double the amount of miners on this rack than you do on this one. So like if I could get rid of those, obviously I'd have more room for A9s, and I wouldn't I might not need another one, but like I want to keep my A9s and just get rid of like the Z9s, Z9 minis, which are these little things, and then the big Z9 bigs, which are all throughout over here and up there, and then even over there. But I do have a lot of A9s, so you know, we'll see. Which they're pretty efficient, but obviously the Z15 is still way better. So I don't know if I've ever showed you the internals of the PDU. Hurts my hand. But so this is what it looks like on the inside. Obviously you run a wire through here, and then you hook up your 3 hots. And if this was a 240 volt setup, it would be just like this, where you'd have your 3 hots, a neutral, and a ground, and then you just leave this. So like it shares the neutral between all 3 breakers, and you know that's all you got to do, and then you just plug it in basically. But the way I have to do it, I've been redoing these guys, so I take off these three wires and move like one to here, one to here, and one to here, but they have to be on different phases, because in order to get 208 on these breakers, I have to have 2 hots coming off of, so I have to have like, say this one, this is a hot, and this hot, they have to be talking. So like I have to have this red wire needs to go to this hot, and then the black wire which goes to it would have to go to either this hot, like one of the other 2 hots, which that might confuse you, but basically you just have to rewire every PDU because of the way I have it set up versus how it was designed to be set up. It still works, but I don't get as much power on it, because essentially on the way it was set up, you would have 240, well, 230, 230 volts, 230 volts, 230 volts. And right now I have 120, 120, 120, but between the two I have 208. Whereas if you were between the two on the 230 volt setup, you would actually have like 360 volts or 415 depending on your voltage setup. So like it's not quite double, but it's really close to double the capacity. So like I would have like 40,000 watts available on this one PDU, versus right now I only have 21,000 because of the way I have it set up. But 21,000 is still equivalent of like 4 of these PDUs. So it's still way better than what I had been using, because it uses less breakers, and less breakers means less outlets to wire up and all of that stuff. So you know, it's still better than this, but it would be even better with the same equipment I already have if I can switch, like on my next build out I do, is if I can get a 230 volt system that goes hot to neutral, is 230 volts, which I know this is electrical talk, but you know, some people might be interested in that. So basically what my plan for the rest of the week is just to fix those couple rigs, and then like I'm gonna try and start going through, and you'll notice like a lot of these fans have gone bad over the time, probably because of how dusty it was, or just whatever, just you know, shipping damage, which I never fixed it from when they first came in. So like this one, you can see this fan is spinning, but these 3 fans are not. So like, you know, I have some rigs like this one where none of the fans are spinning and the cards are all fanless. So like that's a problem. The cards were getting really hot, and you know, I need to fix this. So like I had to take this case offline until I fix the fans. But like I want to go through and fix all of the fans. It's just, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour per case because of the way this case is designed. I don't know if I have an open case. I think I do. Yeah. So the way this case is designed, they put that little bar that holds the power supply off the motherboard over top of where the fan headers connect. So in order to connect the new fans in, you could take the other ones out. It's not that hard, but getting the new fan connectors in while that little metal piece is on is really hard. So like basically you have to take out the power supply and a couple of the GPUs just in order to get to the fan headers, and then you still have to take out the fans. And what I normally do is, if I have one that's bad, I just replace all 4, because I have a lot of fans and they're not that expensive, and they're pretty crucial for like all my mining edition cards. So like if I don't want to have to do it again in like a month when the next fan dies. So I figured just preventively go ahead and replace all the fans, and I can test, the good, see which fans are good in case like I have like an ASIC miner that I don't really care about as much, or it's easier to replace the fan. I can put the older fan on that one until it dies, and then swap it to a good fan once that does happen. So like that's what I did here. Is these fans all work perfectly fine, maybe a little weaker, but they work. So like if I have a ASIC miner that has a fan that died, I can swap that on there and get it back online, and it would be just fine. But this video is going on long. My phone's about to die. I need to record that other video. So I hope this was informative to you guys. Definitely leave comments down below on what you want to see. I saw one guy said he wants me to do a video on like some kind of profit. I don't remember exactly. I got to look at it again. But leave me down suggestions down below, and I will try and do my best to make videos when I have energy and like motivated to do it. Which I'm not like Panda. I can't make a video every day. At least not right now. I just don't have enough ideas for content to do that. Like I said, I have another video planned for the Zcash because it's important to me, and I just found out, and there's not really much information on it. But it's Crypto Clutch signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Thanks, guys.